Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. A very warm welcome to everyone joining us today for a special edition of Celebrating Sweet Success at the Institute of Business Management. I'm your host Mashhood, Chief Operating Officer, Corp. Here for a delightful treat for you, powered by Cadbury Dairy Milk and Dreamworld Resorts, Hotel and Golf Course. This show is a celebration of hard work, dreams realized, and sweet victories that kind of make the journey worthwhile. Today in the studios, we have one such person who has been there and done that. He's a remarkable man who owns one of the largest family resorts here in Pakistan. He's the Chief Executive Officer of Dreamworld Resorts, Hotel and Golf Course. He also plays a key role in the management of destination hotels. He is from the batch 2000 and we are very curious to know more about him. We present to you Irfan Hilal Ahmed. Assalamualaikum Irfan, welcome to the show. So happy to see you. How are you feeling today?
Walaikum salam. Thank you so much for having me here. Feels wonderful to be here again in my alma mater. Amazing memories with the college, and suddenly, the moment I entered, a lot of it came back altogether. So thank you for having me here.
So you've just come back after a long time, taking a trip down memory lane. What is the difference? What do you see different about it from the days of your, when you were a student here?
Oh, as for the difference, there's a tremendous amount of it, a tremendous amount. The place has really grown. When we moved to this campus from the old campus, it was just one central building. And that is where I entered when I reached here today, and then one of the guards ushered me, directed me towards this building. I've been here before. After the development of this building, I've been here a few times. It was
Any
wonderful.
Incidents or memories that you remember from those days? Any friendships you?
Many, but just a few to mention here. It was always a wonderful place. Back in those days, because we were, sort of a very small student body, so more like a community, and almost everybody knew everybody else. So it was really wonderful. I'm sure it is as good today also. I'm sure the students here enjoy it as much. So the teachers, the administration, the students, we all knew each other, and it was a very fun place, along with the wonderful academics that CBM has always had. In fact, even back then, CBM had already started building a wonderful reputation about developing entrepreneurs, or having academics that could support the development of entrepreneurs compared to some other much better known institutions. In fact, quite a few of us particularly opted for CBM even in those initial years because of that, image that CBM had already started building. And that image wasn't just out of some imagination or some varied thoughts of people. It was actually there.
It was actually happening.
Yes, it was actually happening. It was actually happening. The environment over here, we felt that was always a bit more open, a bit more welcoming. That kind of gave us more space, more room to be a bit more creative, even in our academics and everything else. So yes, a lot of wonderful memories, a lot of great friends from here. We're still together, a lot of us. So yeah.
अच्छा, IoBM से BBA किया आपने, उसके बाद what happened? Share the journey with us.
IoBM से BBA करने के बाद फिर I went to the US. For the first 6 months, I was in New Jersey, Camden. I was in Rutgers, Camden, the Camden campus. Then I got a transfer. I took a transfer to the Baruch College of the City University of New York. So for the next 1.5 years, I was in New York City. That's where my college was. On the day of 9/11. I was there,
No.
and I was
Okay.
supposed to be, on my way to my college. Our train used to pass underneath the World Trade Center
Yeah.
buildings. So that's when I was there. Nothing to do with it.
Yes, of course. I mean, but then,
But yes.
Surat-e-Hal of the entire world at that time was
Yes. So
chaotic.
yeah. So
Acha.
so yes, I did my master's. I did my MBA in Computer Information Systems from Baruch College of the City University of New York.
Right. And how do you think IoBM shaped you personally and professionally?
How did IoBM shape me and the rest of us personally and professionally?
I mean, it
Good
made you
question.
open and welcoming.
Yes, like I mentioned earlier, it was always a friendly place.
Yes.
So the interpersonal communication, the interpersonal relationship building, the human to human, the person to person communication, I think it has helped us, all of us, tremendously in that. To be completely honest, when I was, your question just brings back a memory. When I was in the US, in one of my classes in New York, our professor asked us to team up for a certain project, or there was some requirement set out by the professor. And alhamdulillah, the way I approached the people over there,
Yes.
who were all not just unknown faces but foreign faces also.
Of course.
So there was a cultural barrier. There were a lot of difference. But the way I was able to approach, I later realized that, honestly speaking, was something that I would not have expected myself otherwise to be able to do. And I think this place played a tremendous role in that, because I've always felt for us Pakistanis. In fact, whenever I get the chance, whenever I'm interacting with our Pakistani businessmen who are based abroad in various countries abroad, whenever I'm interacting with them, I always raise this concern that why do we Pakistanis are so afraid of the mainstream markets, the international mainstream markets? Why are we so afraid of interacting with the so-called Goras and all that? Why do we step back? Why do we remain in our shell? And I think not just me, but many of my friends, many of my colleagues from this college, we have not remained in that space of fear. And if so many of us who belong to this place feel that way, can do that, then I think this place has played a role in that. So I think,
All right. And any
Has helped us
advice
a
from a teacher that's been your go-to ever since? कोई word of wisdom या कोई incident? कोई तो teacher होगा.
नहीं वो तो बहुत advices were a lot. A lot of our teachers from back then, Mansoor Saab, Mehraj Saab, Miss Shama, Miss Nausheen, Waqar Saab, Marhum, and many others, बहुत सारे, Miss Shahnaz Meghani, a lot of them, they all helped us a lot. They all guided us really well. तो advices तो बहुत सारी हैं. Incidents जो हैं, there was an incident, actually, before my BBA, I did my O-levels and then my A-levels. And I always felt that we A-levels students always had a unfair advantage over, our colleagues, our friends coming from the intermediate colleges. We always had that advantage.
Obviously, yes.
And I would say an unfair advantage. I always felt that, and I always said it back then also. So Waqar Samaroom, he used to teach us accounting. A wonderful gentleman, a wonderful person, mashallah. Allah Ta'ala unke darajat बुलंद फरमाए, जन्नत में जगह दें. An amazing person. A very cool, calm, patient gentleman. अब जो क्लास में हो रहा था तो I would already know most of it. तो फिर क्लास में होता है सो होता है. So it would be the same in every session. 3 दफ़ा उन्होंने मुझे अपने पास बुलाया. The first 2 times in the classroom, the 3rd time in his office. पहली दफ़ा, the first time he said, बहुत अच्छे अंदाज में उनका, Irfan, you're my star student. and I want you to, you know, focus on studies. इस तरह का उन्होंने थोड़ा बहुत मुझे समझाया. The second time he called me a few days later, then he said, "Okay, you are my 2-star student, and you know, focus करो, ये करो, वो करो," समझाया. तीसरी दफ़ा ऑफिस में जब बुलाया तो उन्होंने कहा, "You are my 3-star student." उसके बाद फिर उसके बाद फिर बस मेरी बस हो गई. So yes, we had amazing teachers, all of them. We are still connected. A lot of us are still connected with some of our teachers still. Actually, those teachers have remained connected with us. They're very kind of them. कि आज भी, you know, they interact with us. They help us out. They guide us अगर कोई चीज़ कोई ज़रूरत होती है, कोई interaction. So yes, वो time तो बहुत अच्छा था.
Yeah, I still, so 2 days ago was my birthday, and Ashraf Janjua Sahab, I don't know if you know him, but he wished me on my birthday, and I was like, I mean, you know, all the memories back from school came back, and I was like, wow, man, you know, he remembers, and he saw, and he made an effort.
Absolutely.
So that's really true about that. अच्छा, हम थोड़ा अब Dreamworld के बारे में बात करेंगे. How did it all start, and what have your achievements been there?
So Dreamworld, basically, we were back then. When we started off with Dreamworld, we had nothing to do with the hospitality or the tourism industry. No past background, nothing. There was this Alumni piece of land there. The family owned that land, and the idea was to, you know, do something about it.
ठीक है.
Maybe create some small recreational area or something. Then by chance, my elder brother, who's the chairman of the company, he got in touch with a Japanese consultant, and he gave a very, you know, nice proposal. The consultant himself didn't turn out to be so sound on integrity and all, but the idea was great.
Okay.
We got the idea from there. Before that, we had never thought on those lines, and from there, then it started, you know, happening. Then some local domestic consultants got involved for the designing, for the architecture, for the structure.
Did we have any expertise as such in Pakistan at that time, or did you have to get people from?
None at all. None at all. In fact, when back in 92, 93, when the company formation was happening for Dreamworld, for the Dreamworld Limited company, almost the complete business community. Almost all of them. They advised my father and my uncle, my chacha. They started it together. All of them were, you know, they were shocked because we were always textilers. We were in the textile industry, and we had always Alumni done really well in that. So all of them were really surprised, and some of them, you know, turned around and spoke to my father and my uncle. My father always has had a very deep relationship in the business community. So. But अजीब अल्फाज उन्होंने इस्तेमाल किए because back in the 90s, the political condition of Karachi, the political environment of Karachi was also not at all suitable for such a project, at all you know, favorable for such a project. Then not just the environment, but then the route that we have to take to reach Dreamworld even today. You know, the Surab Goat Belt and all that. So it was. Every day there would be, almost every day there would be some sort of writing over there or in some other part of the city. So yes, it is an incredible experience, Alumni. We feel ourselves highly blessed that we've been bestowed with this.
But you made quite a difference even in the area where you have it. That is kind of has developed in its own way.
Yes,
I understand the belt itself, but...
Yes, it has developed a lot.
Yes.
The housing society right adjacent to us, Gulshan Memar, it was there from even before, but it has developed tremendously since then. The Sabzi Mandi moved in that area later on.
Yes.
Then up to mashallah, the Barriers town and the DHS city are there. So Karachi
also many restaurants and
yes,
you get to see them there,
absolutely.
Right? Achha, so agar koi aap, you know, when there's a ride that you need to add, or just a boat ride,
right.
or maybe some family experience that you need to add, what is the thought process like? What is it that you look at? What are the steps that you follow?
I would start with the ideation process. Let me first touch on that. So as far as the ideation is concerned, or the initial thought or initial idea is concerned, it can come from anywhere in our team. we've tried to build a very, what should I say, an open environment among the team, a very democratic kind of way of doing things in our business. Initially, it wasn't, to be honest, initially it wasn't exactly like that, because once again, we had come from factories and mills background, and it is a very different ball game. But in hospitality and tourism, the decision making has to be done really fast, and it has to be done on the spot at all levels of hierarchy. So empowerment and delegation of decision making is extremely important in our industry. It is actually important in any industry, I would say, if the company, the organization, the management, everybody wants to grow, then the empowerment of decision making is very important, much more in our industry. So the idea more or less can come from anywhere. The idea, of course, is backed by reasoning based on customer feedback, customer requirements, newer trends in the market. For example, 5 years ago, perhaps customer feedback wouldn't say much about AI or VR or AR and all that. But we're already working on that. So it's not always customer feedback, but yes, that's very important. And we have several teams, several departments that are directly interfacing with the customers, with our members, with our corporate customers, with our corporate guests, and others. So that feedback is important. Then we, of course, we have our own certain plans from before that we've laid out. During the last 4 or 5 years, it has unfortunately slowed down quite a bit. We've had to slow it down. First, because of the 2 years of COVID, because everything was shut down, revenues took a serious hit. Then after that, the economic turmoil that unfortunately, the economic disturbance that has unfortunately been going on since 2022. So yes, the last 4 or 5 years, we've had to do a lot of redoing, rethinking, a lot of changing our approaches towards our day-to-day operations and adding new facilities. Otherwise, yes, that's basically the starting point. From there, the relevant teams get together. The marketing department would do its own marketing research, its own surveys. The sales teams would, talk to customers. Then our customer services teams, they would speak to the customers. Our engineering gets involved. They do their own, mock-ups and evaluations and BOQs and all that.
Speaking of the customers, you have a membership model.
Yes, we do.
How is that working for you?
Overall, it has worked really well, alhamdulillah. It has worked really well. It is a very, for a resort, because we're not a club. We're not a club per se. We are a resort. We are an absolute hospitality tourism property. We do not focus on conventional club activities. We have a very different business format. So the membership model initially, yes, it was quite challenging because it was something very new for the market, for a resort, for an amusement area, not for the clubs. So, but it has turned out to be very beneficial for us and for our customer base also, I think. So yes.
And there's corporate memberships as well, I'm guessing.
Yes, there are. Yes, there are corporate memberships
also.
So
the corporates, because most of the time I've heard Dreamworld name come up in corporate conversations as well, where they say that, we're going to go out for a retreat because Karachi doesn't give any more other opportunities. So they go to Dreamworld and have those corporate retreats there as well. That's been a haven of retreats too.
Right.
That's right.
Yes. So we have family memberships, which are lifetime memberships for individual families. Yeah. Families can apply for that, and if they qualify, they can get the membership. Yeah. Then we also have corporate memberships. Those again are sort of long-term engagements with our corporate customer base.
Interesting.
Then furthermore, the corporate retreats that you just mentioned, those are like you said, unfortunately, still, even though there is tremendous scope for it, there's a tremendous market for it. With Alumni, a 250 million population size, which is actually our strength and not Khuda na khasta, a burden on us. Yeah. So there's tremendous scope for it, but yes, there's still an unfortunate scarcity or dearth of such facilities across the country, in Karachi also. So a lot of our corporate customers prefer us for their corporate retreats, for their away days, for their offsites. Then thanks to our chalets that we started in 2007, there also, alhamdulillah, we've been able to maintain a very good family environment. We've been very, very particular about it, and Allah Rahman has been very kind to us on that. So our member families, our corporate customers, our corporate clients, because of that complete aura, that complete environment, that safe and sound and clean environment that they get over there, away from all riffraff or away from all nonsensical activities. So yes, a lot of them prefer that. So we have chalets over there for night stays, which are 5-star chalets. Alhamdulillah, as good as any 5-star hotel that you could see everywhere.
Okay, and because you belong to an entrepreneurial family background, was it a time, or maybe did you have your training shoes on and your dad said, first you gotta do, you gotta be trained in order to be part of Dreamworld? Was there any training? Did you get your experience from somewhere? What all happened?
So I was.
Or did you just come out ready for the role?
I was fortunate to get some hands-on experience sort of outside of my father's office.
Yes.
Initially. The first and foremost came through CBM.
Yes.
It was a very, very interesting experience. There's a compulsory, I don't know the exact process now, but back then there was a compulsory internship process, even in undergrad. So during our BBA, through that internship program, I was very, very fortunate to get into Smithline Beecham. It used to be Smithline Beecham back then, before the merger of Glaxo Wellcome and Smithline.
Okay.
And I worked directly under Miss Iram Shakir Rahim, who's the MD of GlaxoSmithKline Pakistan.
Wow.
A wonderful lady, a wonderful woman. I learned a lot through her. So I did a 2.5 months internship with her. That was my first, professional experience.
Yeah.
A serious cultural shock. I still remember the first time I submitted her my first report. She actually took it seriously.
Whoa!
She actually went through it. She actually discussed it with me, and I was like, "What is going on? What's happening?" Seriously, honestly speaking.
Okay, wow.
So that was a wonderful thing, and she taught me a lot. Then Masood Saab, the MD at that time, Masood Saab and Mr. Ram, they actually asked me to stay back for another extra month for the budgeting session, and I was able to assist her during that also. So that was a very good experience. Then right after my undergrad, when I went abroad, I worked there. I did a few odd jobs over there.
Yeah.
Then I tried to start a couple of things on my own. One was a very small, clothing supplies business among the Desi community, Pakistani, Indian, and Bengalis. I would get, clothing material from here, from Pakistan, and then sell it to them. That was a wonderful experience. I learned a lot through that. A couple of my customers were wonderful teachers again.
Your leadership extends beyond Dreamworld. You're also playing a major role in the management of Destination Hotels Private Limited. Tell me a little bit more about that.
So Destination Hotels was always a dream project for the Dreamworld team. Pakistan has incredible potential for hospitality and tourism businesses, hospitality and tourism options. With the, mashallah, our own population of 250 million people, which is a wonderful strength, there's a lot that we can do. Unfortunately, still our country is still unable to intake a lot of international tourism, which had started happening a few years ago, but then it has kind of slid down again. But still, it's a beautiful country.
Sure.
It has all sorts of seasons, all kinds of seasons. It has all kinds of places. The experiences that we can create over here are amazing. So yes, about 4 years ago, we launched our brand, Destination Hotels. And Alumni, we already have 8 properties in various parts of the country.
Wow.
Yeah, the first one came up on the Manora Island.
Oh, nice.
That also happens to be the first ever beach hotel of Pakistan. It's right on the beach.
Interesting.
And our first property and also the first beach hotel of Pakistan. So from there, then the second one came up in Peshawar, Gilgit, Thandiani, Bhurvan, Camp Leo, Hopper Valley. That's an amazing place,
Wow,
an incredible place.
amazing.
That's the spot where if you want to look at the glaciers, you look beneath you and not above you. That's how high it is. So yeah, Camp Leo, then Khaplu. Khaplu has always been there in Pakistan, but recently discovered. So there's
Yes.
still a lot of places that we
Yeah.
Pakistanis ourselves have to discover. Then in Murray, and then Dreamworld itself. So all over the Dreamworld destination group now, Alumni already has 9 operational hotels or properties, and more are coming up. And not just us, the other brands that are coming up. So this is something really good for the country, and what we the hospitality operators need to do and need to tell our Pakistanis and the world is that we're not trademarks of any sort, we are brands. So a biggest concern that arises whenever any place in Pakistan opens up for any tourism project, the littering and the garbage and all that starts happening, unfortunately. Hopefully, inshallah ta'ala, wherever we brands are operating, you won't find it there. Why? Because like I said, we're not trademarks that will be there for some time for some trade activities and then we'll leave. We will remain there forever. Our brands will be there forever. We have to create that brand
So
equity.
maintenance is going to be your highest priority. It's been like that.
You can visit our private beach at the Manora Island anytime.
Okay.
Even the garbage that the sea dumps on the beach, our team takes care of it. Yeah, it has to.
Amazing.
So
that
yes.
is.
So yes, all these things, all the sensitivities of this industry, of this customer experience, all the peculiarities that we have to take care of. So much so we have to be so micro in on the guest experience in this industry, that how high or how far the electric switch is from the bed of a hotel.
That's how technical it
Oh
gets.
yes, it is. Oh yes, it is. And that is what it makes so indulging and creative. And there's so much that you can do.
Yeah. Other than that, if you could share some of your experiences in other ventures, because being a Seth, being an entrepreneur, I don't think you can stand still and just be happy and satisfied with what you're doing. There's always something more, and the head is always popping up ideas.
So yes, Alumta, there's another business of ours, another venture of ours by the name of Q&N Flavors.
Okay.
It's a food FMCG brand that we launched a few years ago. It also started just by chance. We were just we had gone into a bit of food processing or in-house food production of certain items for the sake of quality, because we were unable to get the right quality, the right standard in the market at that time.
Okay.
So we started off for doing it in-house for our own purposes. But then it turned out really well, and somebody from the food FMCG industry, a close relative who's also a mentor for me, by chance he tried a few products of ours a few years ago, and he got me excited. He got
That's
me excited.
amazing.
And
See, I knew it.
There hasn't been any looking back on that. So even in this venture of ours, the food FMCG venture, while we're working on our own brand, we also do private labeling. So the brand and the private labeling operations together was a very big question mark for us for a very long period of time.
Okay.
It honestly took us almost 2 years to decide that whether we want to do private labeling or not. And what eventually got us to that decision or to the decision of yes for it was our initial vision to make good food, good Pakistani food for all Pakistanis across all markets and for international markets also. So as long as that good food, that good representation of Pakistan is going everywhere, that was the primary vision, and that has driven us really nicely. since day one. In fact, one of our first departments that we set up for Queen and Flavors was our R&D, research and development department.
Yeah.
Our food technology department, covers R&D, QC, QA, compliances, and everything. Fully empowered, run by absolute professional people from the relevant academic and professional background, and so we've been very fortunate and very blessed to be able to focus on research and development right from the beginning, which again there's a very unfortunate dearth, a very unfortunate scarcity of that in our country. Still, unfortunately.
100%.
So, but that has helped us a lot, and it's not too difficult. It's not too costly as generally you will hear people saying. So, and it has paid off really well, Alhamdulillah. In very short span of time, the kind of reputation that we've been able to establish because of our new product development, because of our R&D operations, because of our controls on quality and everything. So yes, it is. So yes, didn't stand still, and this has gone really well. Then there are a few other projects that I'm myself also involved in. Education has been a very a subject very close to my heart, very close to my heart. So I was able to build some really good connections with some highly experienced Pakistanis based in Silicon Valley. Pakistanis who really like it if you call them Wapistanis. Those kind of people who want to come back, or who at least want to contribute back to the society and are actually doing it. So, so a few of them, they're now very deeply involved in setting up a complete ecosystem for Pakistani startups. A complete ecosystem, starting from scratch right up till hopefully creating a few unicorns out of Pakistan also, inshallah. So yes, I'm connected with them. So that's not purely a business venture, not purely a business venture.
Of course, but it will result in something quite positive for the country, inshallah. Okay, coming back to the hospitality industry, कुछ obstacles जो आपने face किए हो इस industry में, and if the government was able to support, because there's something really awesome that you're doing for the country.
So देखिए, obstacles की अगर बात करें, as far as obstacles are concerned, lack of awareness is the biggest obstacle, unfortunately.
True.
And lack of awareness comes out of lack of exposure, or the sliding down education level of our population, unfortunately, and the general situation, the general environment, inflation and all that. So that of course becomes an obstacle. The form of awareness and the form of how to why should we stand in a queue?
Yes.
And so on and so forth. So yes, those things are there, but it's not that there isn't any improvement. There has been improvement. People, when the operators set up the system properly, when the operators make those systems user friendly, guest friendly, it automatically starts happening. People start realizing it. So hospitality is all about experience.
True.
That is the only product or the only service that we sell in this industry, experience. So if the experience has been designed correctly, if the experience is being delivered correctly, so the customer also gets educated. As far as the government is concerned, it has been sort of kind of a 50-50 situation. Some things have been really good. For example, our Manora project, our Manora hotel, the destination beach hotel Manora, that's actually a government property. It's a property that was built up to the grey structure level by the Manora Cantonment Board, and then we took it over through a bidding process.
All right.
So yes, the government is opening up to it.
Okay.
But how hospitality and tourism is different from all the other industries, from all the the security environment and all that. So it's a lengthy, it's a deep educational process that we are having to deliver.
Yes.
Definitely some quarters, some offices are becoming more and more receptive about it. During our past 2.5 years journey at the Manora, Some of the government officials have been very receptive. They've been very welcoming.
Okay, that's new.
Yeah, no, honestly, they have been. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice.
But you have to deal with so many.
Of
So
Yeah.
it's an ongoing thing.
Achha, and how do you think, what are the steps to be taken in order to make Pakistan more welcoming, more touristy, more hospitable?
I would say the core thing, the absolute core thing, empower your people. Empower your people.
Yeah.
They'll educate themselves. They'll create earnings for themselves. They'll do all the right things eventually. They will evolve. Let them evolve. Empower them, trust them. So I was at a sort of a kind of a closed door conference once, some months ago in the Bay Area in California. There was a conference inside the Stanford University over there. And the then ambassador of Pakistan to the US, the Consul General of California, the Consul General of Pakistan to California, all of them were there. Some other high officials were there, the business community. There were quite a few people over there from various walks of life. So we were having a conversation over there, and it was like sort of an elephant inside the room kind of thing. So I made a comment over there also that, look, draw the line. Draw the line for us. We'll make sure that our youth does not cross that line and go to the other side. We won't. The Pakistani population won't. The Pakistani youth won't. But as long as the youth remains on this side of the line, let them do what they want to do. Trust them, empower them. Let them become a nation. That's what needs to be done, not just for the tourism and hospitality industry, but for all industries. As far as hospitality is concerned, we are by nature very hospitable people. We are. Our food is amazing. Our culture is wonderful. You start from Karachi, go up to the right to the other end of the country. The difference in food that you will see, the difference in the dresses that you will see, the difference in dialects that you will hear, sort of differences in the facial structures and all that also. Forget the landscape, forget the weathers, forget all of that. Just the people. We as a nation, we Pakistanis as a people are truly amazing, and we can do wonders. So empower us, and inshallah we'll do for the country a lot more than we are already doing. We will be able to create a lot more taxes. We'll be able to fill up the coffers a lot more than we already are being forced to do. So that's what I think needs to be.
Irfan, you've been an inspiration for so many. What is the advice that you'd like to give to those who are in this industry?
अच्छा, एक तो इंस्पिरेशन वाली बात तो खैर मुझे मालूम नहीं थी, और जो if anybody is taking any inspiration, they're doing it at their own risk, at their own risk and cost and account. So whoever is already here in this industry or wants to enter the industry, I would say that tourism and hospitality is one of the biggest industries of the world. One of the biggest. Has tremendous money in it, has tremendous creativity and learning in it, but it is for the long haul. It has to, you have to have a certain mindset. You have to love interacting with people, understanding human beings, understanding people, interacting with people, dealing with them. There's a lot of human to human connection in it. So, and I would say, especially my comment is of course focused on our Pakistani people. I'm not talking about the industry in general. I'm talking about Pakistan, and for our Pakistani youth. Focus on brands, create brands, be there for the long haul. It doesn't happen overnight. Nothing happens overnight. Believe in the process. हम अगर अपनी religion की भी teachings देखें, या जिस तरह से humanity has developed, himself a prophet, son of a prophet, grandson of a prophet, great grandson of a prophet, Hazrat Yusuf alayhi salam. He had to go into a well. He had to spend time in a prison cell. He had to leave his own home, the home of a prophet, and had to live somewhere else to learn all that, to go through that process. So believe in the process. When the Bandai Khuda was going to Taif, Khuda knew what would happen in Taif, but it happened. It had to happen, it happened, all that happened. But the Bandai Khuda didn't come back and sit in front of the Kaaba on a musalla and said, Allah, maine to kar diya, ab baki aapka kaam. No, then the process for the migration to Medina started.
Yes.
So believe in the process. We all human beings have to go through, our life processes. Be in there for the long haul. It won't happen overnight. It won't happen just in a couple of years.
Yeah.
You have to be there for a long time. You have to be ready to give in. If it is for you.
Yeah.
The first and foremost thing is try to evaluate if it really is for you. If your heart really is there, then go ahead and do it. You'll find help. You'll find resources. Believe in yourself. Be proactive. Be planned. Don't be too rash. Don't be irrational in things. Don't be jazbati in things. Thoda bardasht karen, sabr karen. Aage badhe inshallah.
All right. Thank you, Irfan. That was very insightful and very interesting. We're now going to move on to the game segment of the show. There are two games that we're going to play with you. The first one is Inspire Fire. I say the word and you say whatever comes to your mind first. It could be another word. It could be a quick story or a quick thought. Are you ready?
I think I am.
All right. Great. The first one is integrity.
A basic requirement in everything in life.
How about travel?
In love with it.
Oh, me too. Social media.
Highly educative, highly helpful, if correctly used, should be correctly used, and fun also. So,
Of course. And family?
that's where the heart is, that's where the heart always should be. That's where the strength comes from.
True. Next is Karachi.
Oh, no other place in the world. No other such place in the world, alhamdulillah. Absolutely.
Oh my God, I can relate to you. Last but close to our hearts, IoBM.
Can those years come back?
Oh, amazing. In conversation with Irfan Hilal Ahmed, we're going to go to our next round, which is rapid fire round. This has to be very quick, Irfan. Are you ready?
Yes.
Let's fire away. My first question is, who has been the most influential figure in your journey in the hospitality industry?
I read two books.
Okay.
One about how Marriott developed, and the other book about how Four Seasons developed.
Okay.
So those two books were very inspiring for me.
Wow.
And I learned a lot through those books.
Lovely.
Yes.
He reads. What are the top 3 things you look at in a potential business partner?
Of course, the openness in conversation, because things like integrity or trust qualities, you can't really judge immediately.
Yeah.
It takes a very long time.
Right.
And it should take a very long time.
Yeah.
So business development skills, how openly the person is conversing, how balanced the person is keeping both the sides.
Interesting.
I think
If
these
you
would
could
be-
introduce one innovation to elevate family entertainment in Karachi, what would it be?
Innovation, so definitely there can be a lot of innovation, there should be innovation. Innovation usually happens when the basics are proper.
Yes.
So if you're talking about Pakistani tourism, Pakistani hospitality, safety and cleanliness are actually the first things that have to be there.
Yes.
If the structure is there, if the base is there, then things happen themselves. So I don't know, my
That makes sense.
thought right now is
Of
fixed on
course,
that.
that makes
Yeah.
sense. What was your favorite subject back here in IoBM and who was your favorite teacher?
Marketing, Ms. Shahnaz Milani.
Oof. Oof. Name 2 to 3 friends you made at IoBM and you're still in touch with them somehow.
Fahad Bashir,
Okay.
he's in Australia right now.
Oh.
Arsalan Kutub, he is at a very senior position in Habib Bank, Pakistan.
Okay.
Hasnain Mohsin, he's based in the UK. And there are several others. You said 3, so I've
Yes.
taken 3.
No, that's all right. This is good. I hope the rest don't mind. It's on you now. Business growth and integrity should be made simpler for everyone. क्या मुराद है इससे? आपका belief है ये?
देखिए, like I said earlier, empowerment, empower people, believe in people, trust them. हमारी unfortunately trust deficit बहुत है जगह जगह. We as a nation, due to various reasons, the way unfortunately certain parts of our evolution, because of certain parts of our evolution so far, we've kind of become control freaks.
Yeah.
We want to control everything, top to bottom, all of us, everybody, not just businesses, all over. So that hinders growth, that stops growth. May Allah forgive me if I unnecessarily add or subtract something from this. If I've understood correctly, Allah Ar-Rahman has, when introducing Himself to the humankind, to us human beings, the first of His qualities or His pehchan that He's told us is Ar-Rahman, compassionate. And so compassion, empathy, understanding, that is extremely important. So number one. Number two, again, if I've understood correctly, Allah has made fear for Himself, not for sort of human to human kind of thing. It's not a human to human interaction or relationship or sort of hierarchy. Fear is not from one person to another person. Fear is for Allah.
Yeah.
Allah has asked for taqwa, again compassion and empathy, and fear, to be afraid of Him. As far as human relationships are concerned, for something to be among humans, that is respect that Allah has created for us. So compassion, respect, trust, these are the factors or the characteristics that should be there in our relationship.
Fundamentally, yes.
Fundamentally, yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what sort of kind of my thinking is behind.
Yeah. And what's
that.
one important lesson you'd want to teach a 5-year-old about life?
To be kind, to be respectful to everybody.
Yes.
Unfortunately, मतलब बहुत सारे हमारे घरों में starting with the domestics, जो एक behavior चल रहा होता है.
Yes.
So that becomes the example.
Yeah.
So to be a good thinking human being, अच्छा इंसान और एक sort of सोचने वाला, इल्म हासिल करने वाला इंसान, ताकि ज़िंदगी में फिर आगे बढ़ सकें, अपना ट्रैक. Everybody should set themselves. Our children do not have to be a photocopy of us. They should not be a photocopy of us. Every human being has their own unique journey.
Yeah.
So we as parents or we as elders can only guide them for that. We should not, once again, not become control freaks with them
Yes.
also and try to put them within boundaries too much.
Yeah, thank you, Irfan. That was fantastic. Lastly,
Very
any
kind of
word
you.
of advice for students who are still studying and alumni who've just passed out and have entered the market?
Okay, so for the students who are still here, I would say take it easy. Education is for the rest of our lives. It will keep on going. Make it keep it for the rest of your life. Keep educating yourself. So take it easy right now. Have fun. Enjoy yourself. As for the alumni, as for the students who just recently passed out and are now part of our alumni, don't take it so easy anymore. Start getting a bit more serious about things. I'm sure all of you, most of you already are. And take it one step at a time, one day at a time. You're there for the rest of your lives, inshallah. You'll eventually get wherever you want to. Just believe in that. So yes, that's what I want to say.
Thank you, Irfan, for your time today. We wish you all the best.
Thank you
Hope
so
you
much.
do well. Make us proud wherever you go and keep coming back.
Thank you so much.
That was Irfan Ahmed Hilal. If you wish to see someone from the IoBM alumni, please email and let us know. A very big thanks to our fabulous partners Cadbury Dairy Milk and Dreamworld Resorts, Hotels and Golf Course. A very big thanks to my IoBM media team as well for bringing this show to life. This is Mashhood. Until next time, Allah Hafiz.